Hey MAC family, Merry Christmas and welcome to the Advent event.
This is our family's first Christmas event of the season, and we're so excited to be participating with you.
What is Advent? Advent is the 4 weeks prior to Christmas where we reflect and prepare our hearts for the coming of Jesus.
Tonight we're going to be continuing our nativity set. Many of us will be making the Wisemen.
Some of us will be making Mary, Joseph, and the baby, or the shepherds.
Later, Meg Jackson's going to lead us through the steps to making our nativity.
But first, we're going to head to Pastor Dale for our Advent devotional.
Hey, Merry Christmas everybody, Happy Advent. So grateful and excited to kick off Advent together as a church family. And thanks for joining us tonight. In our devotional for this year, the writer says it really beautifully. It says, this Christmas, let's share in the magic as we unwrap 4 of the most important gifts we could ever receive. During the season of Advent, the 4 weeks leading up to Christmas, we will dive into the meaning of hope, love, joy, and peace. And we'll prepare our hearts to celebrate the coming of the ultimate gift, Jesus Christ. The word Advent comes from a Latin word that means coming. You can tell all your friends that you can speak a little Latin. Say Advent, Advent, Advent. It's this incredible opportunity for us to remember the reason why Jesus came. The book of Isaiah says it this way. The people walking in darkness have seen a great light. And those living in the land of deep darkness, a light has dawned. Jesus' coming is this declaration that the light of the world has come into the world. And so Advent is this celebration every year of his original coming as Emmanuel. But also it reminds us that he will come again, and the great day that will be when he does. And so here we celebrate Advent in a lot of different ways, don't we? Some people celebrate Christmas and Advent with interesting PJs and shirts. Some like gigantic mugs. Here at the MAC, we like to celebrate with 2x2s that we stain and glue little heads on and make into a glorious little manger scene. We started out with Mary and Joseph, we've done sheep, and this year we're on to the Wisemen. Again, if you are missing any of those, we'd love to get you all that so you could celebrate Advent with us. James chapter 1 verse 17 says it so well. That every good and perfect gift is from above. It's coming down like a gift to us from the Father of the heavenly lights. One of the gifts he gave us was Jesus, the light of the world. This year we are looking forward to celebrating the reality of hope, love, joy, and peace together. And may it be in a whole new way. This year has caused so many of us to be challenged, to be changed, to be stressed, to be confused at times. But all the while, all those experiences are meant to do one thing. It's meant to bring us back to remembering the reality of the coming of Jesus. And that when he came, he brought these gifts of hope, this gift of love, this gift of joy and peace with him. So we can experience those in any and all situations in our lives. If you need this devotional, we'd love to get it to you. Hope you have a wonderful time tonight. Thanks for being a part of it. It's a good thing to be at the MAC. Merry Christmas, Happy Advent.
Hey, thanks Pastor Dale for that great start to our Christmas season. The Jackson family is here, ready to start our craft. Take it away, Meg.
We are so excited that you've joined us for our craft time today. This year is our 3rd year that we're working on our nativity sets. As you can see, 2 years ago we did Mary, Joseph, and baby Jesus. And last year we made shepherds and sheep. And this year we're working on the 3 kings. So let's get started. This is a picture of the 3 kings and how they should look when we're done. So a few things you're going to need on your own is hot glue gun or some Elmer's glue, scissors, paper towels because we're going to wipe off the stain when we put it on, and just some paper to cover the surface so you don't get anything on the surface that you're using. So get your little packet out that you received and we'll look at what's inside. First of all, you've got your 3 wise men. Then you should have 3 heads for your 3 wise men. Let's see, what else do I have? Up, a little poly brush for your stain. Sandpaper to sand your wood down. Some little twine to go around, and as you can see, we've wrapped the gifts around their waists. I've got a gold pipe cleaner, and you can use this to be the crowns on the wise men if you want. That's an option. Or we've got some jute covered floral wire that you can also use. They could be your crowns too. So whichever one your family decides you want. As for the gifts, we've got 3 wise men, but we've got 4 options here for your gifts for the wise men. We've got a little square gift that you can use. We've got a spool, a little wooden spool. We've got a button. And we've got a bell. So whatever of the 3 that you decide you'd like to use, you can use. And then the last thing, but not least, is a little stirrer to stir your stain up to make sure it's good and stirred before you put it on. So that's what we've got. I'm gonna move these wise men out of the way and we'll get started. Okay, the first thing you want to do is get your sandpaper out and you want to sand your wise men. They're not really that bad, but each piece of wood is a little bit different, so you can just sand around, smooth out the edges a little bit. I do the tops too and the edges just to get it a little bit smooth. That's one. Doesn't really create too much dust, so you can just wipe it off with your hands if you want. And then I'm doing the next one. And again, just get the edges. All right, that's 2. I think I did that one. This is my 3rd one. All 4 sides, the top and the bottom. That's good for me. And there's my wise men, okay? If I'm going too fast, you can pause your video, and when you're done with the sanding, you can start it again and go on from there. So whatever works for you guys. Okay, the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna stain our wise men. I chose gray, and you should have been given at church, you should have chosen your color that you wanna use. And so we're gonna do that now. I'm opening up the gray, and we've got the little stir stick. I'm just gonna stir mine up. I can see that that color is separated, so yours may too. So make sure you stir it up. This is where you really need the paper underneath, because I'm seeing I splattered mine while I did it a little bit. Okay? Then the interesting thing about this is you do not need a lot of stain. A little stain goes a long way. So I'm gonna move my pieces out of the way for now so I don't get stain on them, because I could make a mess here. And then take my first piece. Just dab it in just a little bit. You don't have to put the whole sponge down in. Just start at the top, and as you see, look at that. It goes on, it covers really well. So I'm gonna stain it again, just a little bit. Continue staining. Go back because I missed a spot. Continue around, side number 3. It doesn't look like you have much stain, but I'll tell you, it goes a long way. And then my last side. And then I'm going to do the top. I'm not going to do the bottom because I'm just going to let that stay and it's dry then, so I'm not even going to do the bottom, but I'm going to do the top. Real good. Okay? As soon as you're done, get your paper towel out. And you want to just start to wipe it off then. It helps it to dry quicker, and it gives it just a nice stain look where you can see the wood through a little bit. So, but as soon as you're done, you can go back in and wipe that off. I'm gonna use another one here. And there we go. I've got one done. Now, if you would like yours darker, you can restain it again and then wipe it off again. So if you like it light, just leave it like that. If you want it darker, go ahead and do it again. And I'm on to Wisemen number 2. You can wash your hands easily. It comes right off with soap and water if you get stain on your hands like I'm doing. I think I only dipped it one time for this Wiseman, and that's my second time, and the stain is still going. So the other colors we have are red and blue and green and just like a whitewash. So whatever you picked, you can use. Oops, forgot the top. The top seems to absorb a little more. Okay. Paper towel and wipe it down again. I hope yours are looking good. I think this one is. I kind of like that you can see a little bit of the wood tones underneath, but that's just how I like it. Okay, last one. The biggest Wisemen. Side 1. Last side. Get the corners and then the top. Looks good. All right, go right back, wipe it down. This dries really pretty quick, so by wiping it down, it allows you to really work with it in just a few minutes after you're done. You know, this one side is a little bit light, so I'm just going to give this one side a second coat here because that one came out lighter than all the others. Maybe go back to my first paper towel. And there we go. We've got our Wisemen. Okay, I'm just going to wash my hands. So we're ready to go to the next part. You know, you can let it dry for a little bit, but the reality is, let's see, as I touch it, it feels a little damp, but you know, because it's stained and absorbs into the wood, I think we can go right ahead and start because I'm not even getting anything on my hands, and we just did it. So I think we'll be okay. If you'd like to let yours dry for a little while, no problem, let it dry. Okay, next thing is we're going to put the heads on. If you're using just Elmer's glue, maybe do that later because you're gonna have to leave those to be still for quite a while to get those to stick well. But since I've got a glue gun, I can go right ahead and get that going. So I'm gonna take my glue gun, put a little circle of glue around the edge, and I'm gonna put it right on. Try to get it right in the middle. I'm looking down and press down, and there's one Wiseman with a head. Put some glue on the second one. Try to get it right in the center. And look, he sticks already. How cool is that? And the third Ta-da! 3 wise men with head. Okay, now we can get to the embellishing of our wise men. We're going to give them their gifts to start off with, okay? So everybody got some jute or some kind of little thin rope we got here. So I'm going to start with my little square piece. So you can take your square and I'm going to just put it through that, and then I'm going to wrap it around and pull it through a little bit. I'm going to wrap it around. And then actually this one, you can just put that through a second time. And pull it tight if you can. Hopefully you got family there that can help you to hold it while you pull it tight. And then I'm just going to bring it around and I'm going to tie it in the back. How's that look? Does that look straight? I'm going to put it down to double knot this. If it's tight enough, it should stay, but if you want to make sure, you can just put a little glue gun in the back to make sure that the rope will not move. Okay, got one wise man there. Second wise man, I'm going to use the spool for him. Now, if you want to paint these, or you can even use marker. I was trying to use some marker this morning. You can do that as well. So again, I'm going to put the rope through. I'm going to pull it around. And again, I'm going to just stick the rope right through again. I need a little more, so I'm going to pull it through so I have enough room to tie my knot. How's that? And then I'm going to tie my knot in the back. Whoa, he's going to fall over. I want to do one more little knot here. Double knot it. Okay, there we go. That's number 2. And then I'm going to just cut them all back. Again, remember, if you feel like it slips, you can put a little bit of glue onto the stately, large wise men. Okay, my button, some of the buttons have 2 holes, some of them have 4. This one has 4 holes, so I'm going to put the string through one button, and then the catty corner button, I'm going to pull it back, put it back through. I'm going to give it enough room to do that. Okay, then, let's see, that's a good seat. I'm going to wrap it around. Let me bring them a little bit closer to me. I'm going to give it a little more room on this edge because we have the room to do that. And then we're going to bring it around. And I'm going to put it through the third hole. And pull it tight. Put it in the center. And then put it through the last hole. Oops, I might have to lay it down to do this one. Oh, there we go. And then we can pull them tight and wrap them around. Again, pull them tight, do a double knot. And there you go. Cut off your rope. A little more. I like the big guy in the middle. There's your 3 kings with gifts. Next, you can make your crowns for your kings. And again, remember we have 2 ideas. So you can just take this jute covered floral wire. It stays pretty taut. You don't even have to overlap it. You can just kind of bring it together in a circle as the best you can and put it on his head. The next thing you can do is your pipe cleaner is 12 inches long, so you can divide it in 3. A 4-inch piece will do it, and again, you can just turn that around. It's not the best circle. You can do better. And that gives them a little shiny one. I'll just finish up by making one more. So you can do them different or do the same. But there we go. There is our 3 wise men. You've got a little bit of extra. Last year people were so creative and they made things I never even thought of. But I thought, you know, if you wanted to do one that was different, you could put a shiny thing on the bell and wrap it around instead of one of the gifts. Make that a gift or something like that. So you can glue these guys on. The hats. I seem to prefer to continually pick them up when they fall off, but that's probably not the best idea. So there we have our 3 kings. Let me put them over with our set and see how they look. There's another one. Whoops, I told you. And there you go. Whoops. There's your wise men. Hope you enjoyed making them. And for those of you who have not joined us in the past, and this is maybe your first time, I'm just going to give you a real quick tutorial on Mary, Joseph, and the baby and the shepherds so you can do those and have your complete set with us. So we'll start with Mary, Joseph, and the baby. Most of the things are similar to what we just did. You're going to get your Joseph. You have Joseph. You've got Mary. You're going to have the manger. You're going to have a head for Joseph, a head for Mary, and then like a little head for baby Jesus. Oops, it's rolling right now. You're going to have, you can use your poly brush if you're started another one, but if this is the only one you've got a poly brush. You've got a stir to stir up your stain. You've got a little, this can be if you want it, like just like a little covering for Mary's head that you can just glue on like that. And then just some rope. Since Mary and Joseph were not wealthy, I just made them kind of plain. So you can start off just like the wise men and you sand your pieces and then stain them. Glue the heads on the same way. Baby Jesus' head goes right at the top of the manger there. You can glue a head covering on Mary if you choose, and then just cut rope and wrap it around them, just like Mary and Joseph and the baby there. So that would be Mary and Joseph. And then if you got the shepherds, if you didn't get to do those, I think these are my favorite because of the sheep. The sheep are just so cute. So in your bag, you're going to have this size shepherd, that size shepherd, and then 2 little sheep. I noticed on this there's some writing on it, but you know what? This sands off real easy, so don't worry about it. If you've got a little writing on it, that will sand off real easy. Then you're going to have a head for that, a bigger head and a smaller head. So maybe like one would be like David, like a boy shepherd that we're using. Not that David was there then, but I just kind of made one like a boy shepherd. Then you've got 2 heads for your sheep. One you can just glue on the end if you like. This one, I thought it was kind of cute. As you can see, and the picture will show you, I glued it right on the front. So it kind of was like the sheep turning his head. So you can do it that way. Or if you want it, you can put 2 with them looking that way, whatever you prefer. And then we have some yarn. So I don't know if you can see, but I just took this yarn, and you can do a little bit of glue to keep it in one spot, and then I just wrapped the yarn around it to make him like a little furry little lamb. So cute, nice and soft. You can use the whole thing. If you don't want it as much, you can cut it off, and then when you get done, you can just glue gun that onto. Again, the same procedure kind of as everything else of sanding and staining and putting the heads on and then embellishing. You've got a cotton ball here, so if you want to give them a little white tail, you can just break off that and you can glue a little tail on each of them. And then again, you have some rope that can go around. On mine, I found a stick. I didn't find any this year, so if you can just get a stick from your yard, you can break it off, and that can be a like a staff, although I did put a little one in like that. So if you wanted to stain that or leave it plain and put a little staff in, you could do that. You know, you might even find things around your house that you could just embellish them even better than this. So that's your shepherds, Mary and Joseph, and hopefully at the end, you're going to end up with a beautiful nativity set. One of the things I think is so cool that I love having this up is this is mine, and I made it kind of the way I wanted, but you know what? I can think that most of you have a very similar set in your house over the Christmas holidays. So it's kind of nice to think it's separate, but yet we're all together and having them. So I hope you enjoyed the craft and have a very Merry Christmas.
Thank you for joining us.
Would you post a picture in the comments of your nativity so we can all see each other's?
Remember that our Advent devotionals start today. This year, we're going through the gifts of Christmas as a church family. If you don't have a book, stop by the church office or contact us. We'd love to get one to you.
For families with children, we have a few options, so stop by the church and see which one works for you.
We hope you all had a great evening, and we want to wish you and your family a Merry Christmas.